Some newly crunched numbers show what it's really going to take to be a homeowner in Oregon. Real estate expert Rick Sadle with Keller Williams Realty and SadleRealestate.com is with us. Rick, good morning.
Good morning.
So bank rates talk is taking a look at some salary numbers for homeownership around the country. It looks like Oregon came in as the 13th most expensive in the country for this. What's your reaction to this report?
Well, I mean, I'm not super surprised. Bank rate, yeah, they did this study. Effectively, what they were studying was affordability and what it takes to buy a median-priced home in a given area. And when they took a look at Oregon, they found we're the 13th most expensive state in the union in terms of what kind of salary it takes to buy a median-priced home here. What they did is they studied the sales, tax, and insurance data from January 2024 regarding the prior year and found that to afford a house here that costs $482,000, you need to make $120,000 a year. Now, of course, that's a super generic number. A lot depends on, how much consumer debt you have, things like car loans, credit card debt, maybe student loans, right? So the amount it actually takes could be higher or lower than that number. But my big takeaway, the biggest surprise, was that when that number was compared to 2020 with the same qualifications, the number back then was $88,000. So it's up 46% in the last, whatever that is, 3 years.
Yeah, that really puts it into perspective. We talking about just one salary here or dual salaries for a household?
Well, when we talk affordability, we're usually talking about household income. So it really depends on obviously who's in the household and who's going to be on the loan. It's usually two adults though. A lot of this also really depends on how much you have to put down, right? So obviously the less you borrow, the less the payments will be, the less household income you need to make in order to afford it.
Yep, went through this process, so I'm familiar. The basic formula, Rick, for buying a house, is that still the same? Is that not changing?
I mean, no, it's pretty much still the same, right? You save up money for down payment. That could be anywhere from 3 to 20% to more, 40 or 50% if you have that much money. And then you meet with a mortgage broker who looks at your entire financial situation, including, like I said, consumer debt, credit cards, those things, and figure out what you can actually afford based on lending guidelines. And those guidelines, in terms of the bank guidelines, haven't changed much in the recent past.
And waiting is difficult. That can really come back to bite you, do you think, if you're trying to time the market and waiting?
It's like the stock market. You can't really time the market. By the time the market has changed, it's already in your rear view mirror, right? Like, for example, right now, prices aren't going up much right now. And people are talking about waiting till interest rates come down. But the problem is if you wait till the interest rates come down, prices will go up. So you'll pay that way. My personal opinion is I think people should buy a house when it's there, when their situation warrants it, when it's time for them to buy a house. Because here's the thing, over time, houses always appreciate. Even going back to the last crash, if you wait long enough, houses always appreciate.
Big perspective here. Great perspective for sure. And these numbers are interesting. Rick, thanks as always. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
That is Rick Sadle, real estate expert with Keller Williams Realty and SadleRealestate.com.